As we move deeper into 2025, the age-old question of whether it's better to rent or buy a home has become more complex than ever. Historically, buying was considered the cornerstone of financial security and generational wealth. Renting, on the other hand, was often seen as a temporary solution or a necessity for those without sufficient capital for a down payment. However, modern economic conditions, shaped by rising interest rates, housing shortages, inflation, and changing lifestyle priorities, have blurred the lines. Today we will talk about, is it better to rent or buy in 2025? Real cost breakdown. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The state of the housing market in 2025. The housing market in 2025 is experiencing a mix of stabilization and persistent challenges. After the extreme volatility of the COVID-19 era, which saw record low interest rates followed by aggressive rate hikes to combat inflation, mortgage rates have somewhat stabilized, hovering around 6% to 7% for a 30-year fixed loan. While this is a relief compared to 2023's peak rates of over 7.5%, it's still significantly higher than the sub-4% rates enjoyed pre-2022. Home prices, meanwhile, remain elevated due to a nationwide shortage of housing inventory. According to recent estimates, the U.S. still faces a deficit of over 3.5 million housing units, which continues to drive up prices, especially in urban and suburban markets. This low supply combined with high demand means that affordability remains a key challenge for first-time homebuyers. Renting in 2025. Pros, cons, and costs. Renting in 2025 comes with its own set of financial and lifestyle considerations. On the surface, monthly rent payments can appear lower than the monthly costs of homeownership, especially when mortgage interest, property taxes, and maintenance are factored in. Nationwide, the average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around $1,700, while a two-bedroom averages $2,200. However, rents have not remained stagnant. In many metropolitan areas, rent inflation has continued, albeit more modestly than during the post-pandemic surge. Still, renters enjoy more flexibility, fewer upfront costs, and little to no responsibility for property maintenance or repairs. Additionally, in some cities, rent control measures provide a degree of cost stability. That said, renters are exposed to the unpredictability of lease renewals, potential eviction, and year-over-year rent increases. Most importantly, renting does not build equity. Every rent check goes to the landlord, and at the end of the lease, the tenant walks away without any ownership stake. For those who stay in a rental for a decade or longer, the total out-of-pocket cost can surpass what it would have cost to buy a home, without the benefit of a growing asset. Buying in 2025. Upfront costs and long-term equity. Buying a home in 2025 still requires a significant financial commitment, particularly upfront. The average home price in the U.S. is now around $400,000, although this varies widely by region. A standard 20% down payment would amount to $80,000, not including closing costs, which typically range from 2% to 5% of the purchase price. Then there are ongoing monthly expenses, mortgage payments, which may be higher due to current interest rates, property taxes, which average around 1.1% annually, homeowners insurance and maintenance costs. Taken together, the average monthly cost of homeownership in 2025 often exceeds $2,500 to $3,000, depending on location and loan terms. However, this cost comes with an important trade-off: equity. Every mortgage payment builds ownership in the home. Historically, real estate appreciates at an average rate of 3% to 4% annually, though 2025's appreciation rates vary from flat in some overheated markets to 6% or more in high-demand regions. Over the long term, homeowners not only gain from rising property values, but also from paying down their mortgage, essentially converting housing costs into a long-term investment. Homeowners can also benefit from tax deductions related to mortgage interest and property taxes, though the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act limited some of these benefits, particularly for those who do not itemize. Opportunity cost and investment alternatives. One of the lesser discussed factors in the rent versus buy debate is opportunity cost. For example, the $80,000 used as a down payment on a home could instead be invested in the stock market or other financial vehicles. Over a 10-year period, a diversified portfolio might yield an annual return of 6% to 8%. potentially turning that initial capital into over $140,000. For renters with the discipline to invest their savings instead of spending it, this alternative investment strategy could rival or even outperform the equity gained through homeownership, especially if the housing market stagnates or declines. On the flip side, homeowners benefit from leveraging borrowed money. A 20% down payment secures control of a 100% asset. If the home's value increases by 4% annually, the return on the down payment can be substantial when viewed as a leveraged investment. This amplification effect makes real estate a unique and often profitable form of wealth building, though it also comes with risks tied to market fluctuations, property damage, and liquidity. Lifestyle, flexibility, and stability. Beyond financial considerations, lifestyle plays a pivotal role in determining whether renting or buying is better. Renters enjoy greater mobility, which is ideal for those whose careers require frequent relocations, or who are unsure where they want to settle long-term. Renting also provides insulation from unexpected property-related expenses, such as roof repairs, HVAC replacements, or rising property taxes. For retirees or digital nomads, renting may align better with a low-maintenance, location-independent lifestyle. Conversely, buying provides stability and a sense of permanence. Homeowners can personalize their space, avoid sudden rent hikes, and plant deeper roots in their community. Families often prefer owning for access to better school districts, more space, and long-term neighborhood relationships. Hidden costs and financial risks. Whether renting or buying, there are hidden costs and financial risks that need to be considered. Renters may face fees for pets, parking, or utilities not included in the base rent. There is also the risk of a landlord selling the property or opting not to renew a lease. Buyers, meanwhile, face risks such as market downturns, unexpected repairs, or job loss impacting their ability to make mortgage payments. Homeowners must also pay for regular maintenance, usually estimated at 1% of the home's value annually, as well as larger upgrades over time. Mortgage interest can also be a significant cost. On a 30-year mortgage at 6.5%, a $320,000 loan, 80% of a $400,000 home, will result in over $400,000 paid in interest alone over the life of the loan. Break-even point. How long until buying pays off? Financial experts often use the break-even point to determine when buying becomes more financially advantageous than renting. This is the number of years it takes for the accumulated costs of buying to fall below those of renting, once equity gains and home appreciation are factored in. In 2025, the break-even point in most markets falls between 5 and 8 years. If you plan to stay in one place for less than this period, renting is likely the more cost-effective option. But for those looking at a long-term residence minus 10 years or more, buying typically results in higher net worth over time. Rent or buy in 2025? It depends on your situation. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to whether renting or buying is better in 2025. The real cost breakdown reveals that both options have distinct advantages and challenges depending on location, financial status, career stability, lifestyle preferences, and long-term goals. Renting offers flexibility, lower upfront costs, and minimal responsibility, but lacks equity growth. Buying requires substantial capital and ongoing maintenance, but offers long-term financial benefits and stability. The key is to assess your personal circumstances, calculate your total cost of ownership versus renting, and consider non-financial factors that influence your quality of life. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.